Hello and welcome to the Pixelated Realms Gamescast, your guide through the digital landscape, untangling the mysteries of your favorite titles and discussing the latest and greatest in video game fun. I'm your host, Alex Salerno. Alongside me is my brother Tyler and my good friend Dustin. What's up, guys?
Hello, hello. Welcome
We were
back,
very
everyone.
chatty in our pre-show, so hopefully this will be a very good, probably heated episode.
Well, I mean, there's a lot happening this week. We had a lot. It's weird because if you've been following us, we weren't super stoked about the first half of the year, and then there's just a lot happening right now. There's a lot of games dropping. Not, I'm not saying there's like a lot of games that we're super stoked about or anything, but there's a lot happening regardless. So I think there's a lot of good things to talk about today.
Yeah, the fall is stacked this year.
What have you been playing yourself, Alex?
Well, hold on.
Lately?
So today I want to do a little housekeeping, right? So today we're going to be talking about our weekly recap. Then we're going to be answering questions from the community, and then we're going to be closing out on a bigger topic, which today is going to be kind of all the upcoming games because there's a ton of them. So we're going to discuss that a bit. Housekeeping. We have our Patreon now available so we've been up for a week now, so that's exciting, and we just wanted to kind of get that information out there. You can go to pixelatedrealms.org/Patreon to see that page. That's going to be the main platform that we're going to be using to disseminate information. So things like any updates on episodes, or for instance, like holiday breaks and things like that. You can subscribe for free. There's no commitment needed or anything like that. But if you want to stay up to date with the information, that's the best place to do it. So we're going to do that. Nice. Also, if you want to leave a question or a comment, and we'll talk about it during the show, go to pixelatedrealms.org/ask. That's ASK. Leave us a question. We will talk about it in the middle of the show. We absolutely love getting questions or comments. So please go and leave us something to talk about, and we'll include your opinions and questions into the episode. Okay, cool.
Let us know.
Tyler,
let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments, guys, if you want Pixelated Realms OnlyFans, because we can get that going too.
Oh boy.
We're finding new ways to be demonetized today. Just fun. Okay, let's talk about some video games. So yeah, there's a lot happening, a lot still to happen. So it's kind of like a very anticipatory weekend, but there's still a lot being released. So I guess I'll start. I gave in and I paid the money for the WoW expansion pre-release thing this weekend. So Katie and I have been playing that. Initial thoughts are kind of tepid. There's nothing artistically or story driven that's really gripping me, and there's so many things to work off of. They've actually it's just strange to me that they've really been okay, we basically concluded this final boss, Sargeras, but now there's
a while ago,
years ago,
yeah.
And it's now there's the Dragonflight stuff, and I was okay, the dragons are pretty interesting, but now it's just kind of that's over, and now we're dealing with the void. So it doesn't really seem like they have a grand plan at the moment. It seems like the new villain, Zeraroth, Zeraroth or something like that, is kind of cool. So I'm just gonna keep playing. It's been solid so far, don't get me wrong. I don't have enough hours in yet to really give a good judgment. But yeah.
Did the game release early access?
It is early. It is the premium edition. It has access this weekend, and then it releases on Tuesday for everyone else.
Oh, okay. So what's the story?
So basically, okay, so in Dragonflight, right, we defeat these elemental dragons who basically just get pissed, and that's a very brief way of putting it. And basically now we are communing with the heart of Azeroth, and we are this character who I can't say the name of very well has basically stolen this Titan artifact called the Dark Star or the Dark Heart, and is going to use it to bring the void to Azeroth. So it's kind of pretty general right now, and once again, like, this is a character that was kind of like a nobody and then just kind of popped back up. So there's a lot of lore that I'm like, I don't really know what's going on, but we're kind of delving into this new continent, which is funny because it's like, wow, another continent we found in the Isle of Azeroth. Like,
yeah, it's
just
like,
like
why haven't we just discovered all of these by now?
like
we have flying ships
flying, yeah. But speaking of flying, though, now the flying mechanics in Dragonflight are included on all flying mounts, and as far as I can tell, in most places as well. So you could take that really nice and convenient flying mechanic they added and bring it, into the game with all of your mounts, which I was like pleasantly surprised to get.
So what's the gimmick this expansion? Like, Dragonflight was the dragons and the flying. Is there a gimmick in this one, or is it just kind of plain?
I don't really. I guess there's a few. So there's like, they have this kind of new like class system where basically each subclass gets additional talents. And so I think of it almost like I don't want to call it a subclass, but like almost like kind of more like a narrative flavor. So for like hunters, you could be like, the marksman and the survival can both be like a void hunter or something. So it's kind of like a Sylvanas flavored hunter. So you'll get like additional powers and talents, and one big defining feature that differentiates their class. So they're just trying to elaborate on the classes a little bit. Continue exploring like Azeroth and the Titans and I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like, it's obviously like super early on, so there's not a ton of development. And like I said, I haven't had a ton of hours into it, but I am certainly interested in the idea of like 3 expansions that all like connect to each other. So I gotta say, like, that's kind of piqued my interest a little. I don't want to get left behind.
Yeah, Dustin, are you gonna play? I know you're a WoW guy. No,
I retired from that shit long ago. I refuse to get sucked back in on the crack. I've gone to Drug Users Anonymous or whatever on the
WoW Users Anonymous.
Drug Users Anonymous.
Yeah.
So what do you do? World of Warcraft.
Yeah, exactly. I can put Ragnaros Slayer and all that on my resume, so that's good enough for me. My buddies have been trying. Because I'm still very active in my old guild Discord, and the guys I've been gaming with for like 30 years now. Not 30, that's ridiculous, but like 20 for sure. And they're like, dude, Druid, you're so fucking OP right now. Like, come play Druid. And I'm like, nah,
there's
dog.
always something OP though. Like, it's such a cyclical cycle. And like, I always be like, okay, I'm going to play this class. It's the best DPS right now. And I'm like, that's great. That's great. And then a patch happens and you're like, oh, that guy's now the mid tier. And you're like, great, cool, my whole plan. So you just play what's fun. Just rule it cool.
Yeah.
Right. No fucking way. Not happening.
Yeah.
Well, are you playing anything? Oh, continue.
I was going to say, that being said, I tried to play another game this weekend.
Oh, what?
Concord.
Oh, yes. Famous old Concord.
Do we want to talk about Concord? Because that
let's do it.
I've been reading
Thursday night.
Been reading a lot of Paul Tassi tweets about it, and it peaked out at like 697 people its first day, which is, without saying, fucking awful.
That's like,
that is like, that's low.
But that's got to be
that's
like a technical issue. You know what I mean?
He actually was
servers
he was saying
right?
Like, he was like, "There's no way this could be accurate. Like, it has to be like
more than 700 people are going to buy any game
or something." But
that big.
But like, we've been talking to, or like at least not talking actively on here about the game. We talked about it a little bit when it was first revealed. I think during Summer Games Fest, and I feel like the game was just like honestly dead on arrival. Like the hype back then, only a couple months ago, but like was non-existent. People were saying it was like basically Overwatch with different characters, and like I felt the same way. It looked a lot like Overwatch. It looked to play like Overwatch. The cinematic was really good, but I mean that's also very Blizzard-esque. It just felt like honestly, like my biggest thing is like there's obviously an appeal for this game. This type of game. Overwatch was huge. But Overwatch has been dying for years, and no one talks about it. No one, like, I don't know how many people are even playing it anymore. And this game started being developed in 2016, and you just have to wonder, like, did it just take
Yeah.
too long? Did it miss the boat?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if this game
Oh, for
came out
sure.
pre-Overwatch 2 when everyone was waiting for Overwatch 2 to finally launch, does it like fill the void of like, oh my God, it's like a new Overwatch and I'm still like eager to play, you know? But now it's like, it just feels like maybe it just took too long to get out the door and people are just like, yeah, I kind of moved on from that genre. I don't give a fuck. Especially at
Yeah.
$40.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think like from a complete like the customer perspective, this game dropped at like what like a not that long ago, right? Like they released that cinematic, and I'm like, okay, like this seems kind of cool. And then the game's like releasing already, and then so I was like, you know what? Okay, we do the podcast. Like I feel like I want to give this game a try. I'm bored on a Friday night, so I paid the $40. I downloaded the game. I hit play. Server can't connect. But I'm like, okay, like not a great start, but maybe their servers are down. So I like went to their Twitter, nothing. I checked like other websites like Reddits and things like that. Like I don't see anything. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's a problem with my computer. So I'm like searching how to fix the game already, and I'm doing all the regular things. I'm a pro at fixing Steam games. So I'm like running as administrator, disabling this and that, and firewalls, all that stuff. I do all of that stuff. I still can't get into the game. I tried for like a couple hours, and after that I was like, okay, cool. Well, this ruined my Friday night. I'm going to uninstall and refund. I refunded it. Steam immediately refunded the money, which is very rare.
Yeah, it means it got marked as like a lot of people are refunding the game.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, I mean, if you guys like, I was willing to pay the game and try it, but like, you didn't give me the chance to. So like, sorry, like that's completely unacceptable. Like at that level.
Yeah, there's so much of this that just sounds like it just like nothing went right. Not even like one thing. It sounds like if they have technical issues, that's obviously gonna deter like a ton of people. But like you were saying, like it's this game. Games like this, especially, is like if you come out with something new against a major competitor, which is like Overwatch in this case, right? You were saying like Overwatch has been declining. I wouldn't say it's like dead, but it's declining for sure, right? And
I would say it's dead.
well, maybe compared to what it was for sure. I would be interested to know what the numbers are, but it's declining because we've had that game for so long and it hasn't changed much. And so what people want is like something refreshing in that same space. And Concord does not have that. It's almost like an exact clone and nothing is different. And it's actually worse because it's not Blizzard, like Blizzard has a lot of problems, but their production quality is very high. So it's like at least they will make something that looks pretty and has a lot of people behind it. So it's like it doesn't really have like what's the hook that are gonna bring people in other than it's just not Overwatch, right? That's like, and nobody necessarily wants that.
I'm kind of confused on why too they're like charging $40 for this game. Like I get it that you're like getting all of the heroes, but it's like you haven't even proven to me that I want to like play this game at all, and it's just multiplayer. There's no like single player campaign kind of thing. So I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like it seems like you're like asking us to invest ourselves into something, but you didn't set us up to want to do it.
Yeah, those like only multiplayer games are very risky. I'm surprised they didn't do more of like a free to download, get 2 characters free, and then pay $40 to unlock the full game, or something.
That would
right?
have been
like
a million times smarter. I mean, I like. It's just like it's what they acted like this was like a beloved franchise, right? Like as if we were coming back to something we knew and loved. But that's like not the truth. That's not what it is. And like one cinematic doesn't make you that stoked on like this. I don't know. There's a lot of missteps here. And like I'm pretty forgiving too when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, for our listeners, I want you guys to drop some comments because were you excited for this game? Are you currently playing this game if you're even able to play this game? So like I want to know because maybe we're just not the demographic for this game. Like I have to know like where was their target and like what do you guys think? Because
It may be fun. I just haven't tried it.
Yeah, like I just had zero interest, and I'm the type of person that this game would be like,
you like
for.
shooters, yeah.
I like shooters. I like especially competitive shooters, and in the non Counter-Strike way, and which like Valorant and Counter-Strike are not my thing, but so this would be like right up that alley. But I had zero interest in this game, and I'm not actually. I mean, like. Usually I have at least the same like interest that you have where I'm like, maybe I'll give it a shot. I didn't even have that. Like it just the marketing, I guess, wasn't very good.
Take the new like Marvel game, for example, right?
Rivals.
Marvel Rivals. And it's like, it's this exactly, and it's gonna be free to play. Like, and I'm like, so like and I was like, I'm not super interested in Marvel Rivals, but it's free. Okay, I'll give it a shot and see if it's any fun. And if it's fun, then I might invest some money into it. So it's like, that makes sense. Like to me, like I don't love that, but like it makes a certain amount of sense. This doesn't make sense to me.
This game will be free in the next 3 months.
I was about to say it's gonna be free in like in the next few months.
Who's developing this? Hold on, Concord.
It's
because is this a Firewalk studio? Who owns them? Are they a Microsoft studio?
They must be like rebranded
studio. Yeah,
they're Sony studio.
Sony studios are usually decent.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good.
And again, like, not to say this game isn't good. Like, this game might be very good. It sounds like it's had some bugs on launch day, but the game could be fucking amazing. But if people aren't going to play it, then...
Marketing, pricing have all been weird. Like, super weird.
I wonder if it's a PlayStation game, and I don't know if it is yet, but I could see them, instead of making it free across all platforms, maybe they make it where they try to get it on the Game Pass, if it's not already, and then they try to get it up on the, like, maybe next month it's like the free game.
Well, I don't think it'll be on Game Pass because they're an actual Sony PlayStation studio.
Yeah, it would be on PlayStation Network.
They're under the SIE name, so like I'd be very surprised.
I say that, and because the game is doing so fucking bad that they're probably desperate for players, so they might go to Microsoft and be like, hey, like, we'll owe you one, like put this on fucking Game Pass.
The only time I see that happening is if they go free to play and then they include it in Game Pass just as a free game. I don't see them making a paid game on Game Pass free to play. Does that make sense?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe pizza bet on that.
I do think we'll see it up as an included game on the PlayStation Plus membership stuff soon. Where if you play on PlayStation, it's basically free.
I'm surprised it actually wasn't like day and date, like free on the PlayStation Plus roster as like hey, if you have whatever their tier structure is, I forgot what it is, but whatever their premium one is, you get it for free. Because that would make a lot of sense to me, and then you would at least get a handful of people in that have that. It maybe not like a ton of people, but more than zero. So I don't know. Interesting. Well, let's move on from Concord because it's making me bored. We have a lot more interesting games. So I don't know about you guys, but I haven't really pre-ordered or I haven't bought like a ton of games this year compared to my normal disgusting amount of games that I buy per year. But this last week, I've pre-ordered like 4 games. Or maybe 3. Let me think. I pre-ordered. So I did not pre-order WoW. I'm not a big WoW guy.
Yeah, so you're not gonna play it, so don't.
I'm not gonna play
money.
But I did pre-order Diablo 4 expansion, Vessel of Hatred, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. I've also been playing Diablo, and I've downloaded that. Space Marine 2. I pre-ordered.
Yeah, I did that one too.
Yeah, because I'm super excited. But I'm also mad because my computer isn't ready yet.
We can't go up on day 1. Sorry, leaving you behind.
No, I have a computer. It's just not my good one. What was the other one? Oh, Star Wars Outlaws comes out this week, so we'll talk about that next episode. It comes out Tuesday if you have the early access, and then I think that was it. That was it for my pre-orders. But then we're also waiting, and we'll talk about all these things more, kind of at our main topic. But we're waiting for Assassin's Creed. We're waiting for Black Ops 6. Yep. We're waiting for. I'm missing one. What was the other one we talked about? Oh Okay, well, I know where there's another one, but anyways, there's at least like 5 games that are like gonna drop all within a handful of weeks or a month within each other. So I'm like super excited.
Yeah.
So like I was like looking at I was like, oh my god, I've been really good about not like overbuying games, and then all of a sudden I buy like $300 worth of games in like a day.
So I have a question
I
for
know.
you. Why pre-order? Like, what is this is like a whole episode right here, probably, but
Yeah.
like, what is the real advantage of pre-ordering? Like, I
Yeah.
don't ever do it. I don't think it's a good idea. Like, I guess maybe if there's like some special cosmetic or whatever I really want, but
Yeah.
like games
No, it's
today
early
release in
access
such
nowadays.
a fucking bad state so often that like I want to see how it like goes to launch before I pick it up.
Yeah.
But-
No, that's
But
a great
nowadays, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it. I mean, you can well, I mean, it's a great question, and I don't think I'm not an advocate of pre-ordering. I usually do it in a moment of weakness, first of all. But second, it's because I know I'm going to buy these. No matter what. At some point I'm going to buy them. I'm going to buy them at full price. I'm not going to wait till a sale. If I know that for a fact, then I might as well just get the whatever the bonuses are that you get with it, because I know I'm going to buy Outlaws and play it. I know I'm going to buy Space Marines, I'm going to play it, and I know I'm going to buy Diablo 4 and play it because I'm a glutton for these games, and I'm also kind of an idiot. So like, it's like I might as well get the early access and do all these things. You know, I'm a game addict. That's why we have a podcast. I do not advocate normal individuals to pre-order. I don't think I think it's only something you should do if you know that's like you're gonna play. I don't know. Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same. I just like, yeah, I mean, if I'm going to buy, I know for a fact I'm going to. They usually just get me with like the FOMO, right? Like, for me, like I get stricken with the anticipation, right? So it's like, well, for example, this WoW one, right? It's like, well, you can play this weekend, or you can wait until Tuesday, and I'm like, well, fuck, you know? And it's like, I'm like in my head, I'm like, is that $20 actually worth the couple days? And I'm like, personally, at that moment of weakness, no, you know, I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. So I don't know. It's yeah, you're right. It's just this impulsivity kind of reflex. But like I only would do this for the franchise I am like certain I like, and I got burned on Starfield, so I had to learn my lesson the hard way.
I bought the collector's edition like a dope.
We both got burned on
My
that one.
problem is that like there isn't any game like in years, I would say, honestly. Like I can't even remember one ever. Like maybe like WoW, the first, like the original WoW. But like a game where I was like, I have to fucking play this as early as possible. Day one, I'm in. That's my day. I'm taking time off work. Like
Fallout 4, I did that.
I haven't done that ever. Like other than again, like maybe the first World of Warcraft when vanilla launched. So to me, like I don't care if I play the first day. So I think that's why for me, like, because I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, even if I don't play it the first day, though, it usually comes with something, and I'm like, well, I might as well, because I know I'm going to play it a couple days after, a week after.
Yeah.
So, like, might as well get whatever stupid cosmetic that it comes with it.
That's fair.
Even if I don't really care for the cosmetic, it's kind of like, you know, I'm just like, I know I'm going to buy it anyways. So.
Also, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if I know for a fact, for example, like, let's just say this was pre these stupid early access stuff, because that's just preying on my impulsivity. You know, it's like, if I knew I was going to buy the game, then sure, yeah, whatever. Who cares when that money comes out of my bank account? Like, and I can pre-download it, which was a nice feature, you know, nowadays. So I don't know. It's just like, but then you got to like Hogwarts. I think about Hogwarts Legacy, right? Because that was one where it was like you had to pre-order it on PlayStation, or maybe it was just like you had to buy it on PlayStation to get that exclusive Halloween mission, and that just pisses me off, man. And I think Outlaws had something similar, and it's just like
it was season pass locked, not pre-order, but yeah.
Oh, but I'm just like, don't make a goddamn pre-order or a ultimate edition a content blocker, like I'm sorry, like moderation, you know, like everyone should be able to experience all the content of the game. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, especially when it's time locked like that. it makes it difficult. And I get it. Some people are gonna be like, well, then it makes it like worth it, you know, and all this stuff. And it's like,
It makes them look greedy.
it's like you don't want to lock people out of potential fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. That doesn't apply to like MMOs where it's like a DLC or an expansion. I'm talking just like, oh, hey guys, we already had this thing done, but you need to pre-order just to get access to it. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
That leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
It's one thing if you can like buy it later, which I still don't think is great, because then you're like, hey, this thing we did already, we're gonna charge you for it because, you know, to artificially make it feel better. But at least then it's available.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I'm gonna move us on a little bit. So I have been playing Diablo 4, and I'm such a glutton for this game because I want to love Diablo so bad. Like, I love Diablo. Of like the Blizzard games, it's probably one of my favorite, which is not super common. I know like WoW is obviously the number one, Warcraft and stuff like that. And then, you know, StarCraft is like its whole own beast. But like, I really have like a special place for Diablo. Like, I love the addictive loop of it all and just kind of the mindlessness that you can play. Yeah. But that game just has so many problems. But I'm always like, maybe this time, you know, like an idiot. So I started a new seasonal character, and I'm like 20 levels in, and I'm just like, this is so fucking boring. Yeah. I was just like, God damn it. And I feel like it's like they just did not want to go like all in on Diablo 4, and I'm so sad about it. It's like they made this like really strong framework of the game, and they built it, and I feel like they had the vision of building it like a live service game that was going to be this like half MMO, half co-op game, and it just never came true. And because it plays like a single player game. Like, you have, at no point do you ever need to party with anybody. You just happen to be like running past people. That's the like the peak of the multiplayer in that game. And I'm like, what is even the point of being online in this game? Because it's not necessary at all. And like I've talked Diablo to death, so I'm not gonna keep going. But it's like Diablo Immortal has a better online loop as a mobile game than Diablo 4 has. And that's just like disgusting.
That needs to be the fucking title of the video right there.
I was about to say, what is that? Like,
that's not even the first time I've said that on this show. Like, I think Diablo Immortal is a better game than Diablo 4. Diablo 4 is a beautiful game. The story is much better and really fun, but the game loop is just abysmal. And like, you know, we've talked shit about Blizzard quite a bit on, you know, just in general, but it's like Blizzard, like, they make beautiful games, they make really good stories, and they're really good at making really big games, but that's it. They don't make fun games anymore. The game isn't, most of their games aren't fun anymore. They're just
to say, like,
big.
You have to put like some date marks on that, because Blizzard used to make the most fun games.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like now, like new Blizzard. Like, they used to make the most fun games, and they used to be,
like,
you know, they were known for their like really, you know, they were made. Not only were they beautiful, and they had really intriguing stories, and their music was like the best in the business, and they were fun. And it's like now they're just big and beautiful, and that's all they have. I mean, you know, every now and again something slips through that's awesome. But it's like, you know, talk about like Overwatch and even like Diablo. Like, if the Blizzard name wasn't on Diablo, nobody would be playing that game. And you know, because like there are plenty of games that are like Diablo in the Steam store that have zero attention. Sure. You know, except for like Path of Exile, which I know people who are listening to this are gonna be like, but then you should play Path of Exile. Yeah, I know. I'll probably play Path of Exile 2 when it comes out. But it's just, I don't know. It's just sad. And it makes me want to rant about it. And I'm hoping the expansion is at least worth the money. Is my bare minimum at this point.
If it makes you feel any better, like, Blizzard notoriously like improves their games with their expansions. So like Diablo 2 was a good game, but like Diablo 2, the expansion like really, no. Lord,
or is that the
shit?
Oh, Lord of Destruction.
Lord of Destruction is
That's
what
right.
brought it to its like legendary level. So
That's
that's a
true.
true trend with and even Diablo 3. Like it was the expansions that really elevated Diablo
That's true.
3.
Diablo
so.
3. I know. I'm waiting for that to happen with Diablo 4 because
Yeah.
Diablo 3 was the same thing. Like it came out in an okay state. The auction house was obviously like the worst idea they could have possibly had. And then over time they added and changed things. I still don't like the season rotation for this game. I still don't like that you have to make a new character. I know that there are people out there who are like, no, that's the right thing to do. I disagree. Fine, you can have your opinion. It's totally fine. I think making your own character is totally opposite of that type of game. I think you should feel connected. But like I said, I'm not gonna talk the Diablo to death. Maybe when the expansion comes out, we'll revisit and I'll have more of a deep dive. But until then, just know I'm frustrated and I want to like this game. It's like that's the thing that is like the most backwards in my brain is like I'm actively trying to find the fun in this game and I'm having trouble. Like, like I'm trying to ignore all the bad things and it's just difficult.
All right, should we hop over to questions?
Let's do it. So, the GOAT himself, Ralph, single-handedly holding up our questions. Guys, you gotta help him.
Please. Ralph
Please go to Pixelated. Yeah, we like owe him money. If you want to ask a question or leave a comment, go to pixelatedrealms.org/ask. Leave us a comment. Leave us a question. Also, if you want to drop comments or questions in the YouTube chat, that is a great way for us to see those, and we'll go ahead and answer those.
Dustin.
What? Oh, did you just link something?
Dustin just live tweeted your review of Diablo Immortal versus
from
Diablo
the Pixelated
4.
Realms podcast.
From the
threads.
Pixelated Realms podcast threads.
Oh yeah, I'll take the heat. I'll take the heat.
I want to hear some facts. I don't want your opinion. I want to hear some like codified, written down bullet points here.
I have them in
All
a
right,
document.
well, fucking
maybe I'll make a whole video on it. Anyways, let's go back to the questions. I don't think anybody wants to hear me bitching about Diablo. So Ralph asks, what are some gaming must-haves, as in like physical things? So chair, monitor, peripheral, drinks, snacks. What do you think what do you need to have in order for a perfect game night? I love that.
Console or PC?
I think that's that one's a personal
choice. Yeah,
personal choice. But a gaming night, I think that's a tough question only because there's one. I have a follow up. Is this for like launch day or just casual and everyday gaming? Because launch day has a totally different vibe to it, where it's like to me that's when you like order
Mountain
a pizza, you get your Mountain Dew, exactly. you cozy on up either in a chair or a couch, and you bring over any friends if it's co-op or whatever, and you guys just play all night. Like that's a totally different vibe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, like it's okay. I'll start with the essentials. You got to have a solid controller, or a mouse and keyboard. So get your peripheries right. For I tend to recommend going with whatever. Like if it's an Xbox, get an Xbox controller. Don't go for the sub brands. Like
what? I would actually,
unless they're like a highly esteemed brand.
I would say that I have these Scuff controllers, and these are like my light is like blowing it out, so sorry. But these are like premium controllers and best controller I've ever used. I have the Xbox version that I use for my PC. This is literally the best controller I've ever had.
Yeah.
So
I just have
not
a
sponsored
basic controller.
I'm using a PS5
Scuff, if you want to sponsor
us.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've never actually turned this on.
Really?
So yeah, just having the right gear for the job is great. But yeah, some snacks, some, hopefully not too bad of junk food, lots of water, get your stretches in.
What type of junk food, Tyler? Because I was just thinking about this, and I'm like, well,
sure.
I need like
I think
a 2
it's
liter
got to be like
Pepsi,
not.
but...
It's I mean, for me, it's a Coca-Cola. I'll take some of that caffeine, and then stuff that doesn't get on your hands. Got to be like
Exactly.
pretzels, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
taco, maybe. Like, you know,
I always make the
chicken-
mistake of getting pizza.
I was gonna
And
say
then-
everyone wants pizza, right? But you
not
fucking get
pizza.
so greasy. Or like wings,
No.
same thing. Awful choice. Delicious, but
Yeah.
awful choice for
No.
gaming.
I usually have
You
to
can
like
do a
eat them
fork.
and
Yeah.
then go wash my hands or something. Because you're right, like it just
like you're not doing
interrupts.
barbecue wings on game night. Like,
You
that's
know
not
what
a
would
good
be
idea.
clutch? Fucking mini corn dogs. Mini corn dogs would
Mm.
be clutch.
What about? I mean, regular corn
stick.
dogs would work too.
Yeah. But like you could just like throw back mini corn dogs.
Burritos are okay. You know, you can kind of just like, well, you're
True.
going at, but you know,
Better at
That's
yeah.
gonna be the
desk.
thumbnail.
Yeah.
Tyler eating the burrito.
Burrito's definitely better at a computer desk than at your
yeah.
at a like, you know, sitting in your living room.
Definitely a comfortable chair. Oh my god, the chair makes such a difference. That's actually my biggest thing about PC gaming, I would say. I actually am sick of like sitting in a chair when I'm trying to just like kick my feet up. I want,
Yeah.
and maybe this is $1 million idea that I'm not gonna do, is I want like something between like a lazy boy recliner and an office desk chair. And I just like,
Yeah.
those two don't meld well, but I want
I
it.
think that's like, I mean, that is almost the exact reason why I play certain games on console, though, is because, like, well, right now I have my console in my bedroom, so I sit in my bed and I just kick back and I lean up and I'm just like, yes. If I don't have to be like, yeah, if I don't have to be competitive and like focused, if I'm not playing like something that I need to be like leaning forward for, no, leaning back is the way to go. But
Totally.
I would say, though, I think the only thing that a gaming must have is some scheduled quiet time. Well, that, but some scheduled quiet time. So your uninterrupted time, right? That's the
true.
peak amount. Because if
That's
you're
a
getting
good one.
interrupted constantly, then you're, you know, because everything else is opinion.
Canceling headphones.
So I'm not gonna say what are the essentials. I'm gonna crush a lot of dreams right now and tell you what's the actual worst fucking thing for an exciting gaming night that every teenage boy fantasizes about. And it's hooking up.
Are we about to get
hooking up during gaming? Okay.
What?
It's fucking awful. It's the worst shit. Like, it's just
You're
like you're just trying to play the fucking game, and it's just like it's like you can't
one
do
or
both.
the other.
Yeah, you can't do both. And like I've done it, and like it was awful, and like as a early 20s,
We have
I
gone
was like,
off the rails this episode.
no, I'm just saying, like, it's legit though, because I swear to God, like, everyone thinks about that. Oh my God, it'd be so dope to like hook up while I'm playing videos. Like have my games and be hooking up. It's fucking awesome. And it's like, no, it's not. It's actually terrible. So sorry, guys. Any teenagers that listen who fantasize about that still, it's the worst. So
Yeah.
Dustin, the
Just-
dream crusher.
yeah.
Yeah, also crushing your dreams of, having some fun in the shower with a partner.
Also terrible.
Oh, God.
Fucking
Crush that
awful.
dream.
All right,
right
next
now.
question. Next question. From Ralph. Gearbox released the teaser trailer for Borderlands 4 coming in 2025. Not a serious question, but what would it take for Tyler and Dustin to play?
Oh, it wouldn't take that much, but it like I love Borderlands. Borderlands was like, to me, Borderlands was the first RPG shooter that like truly, in my memory, it was the first game you ever shot someone and numbers popped out of their head. I cannot think of a single first-person shooter that ever had that. I'm probably wrong, but that was just my memory of it.
It was like the first one that you were exposed to.
I really enjoy Borderlands. It just was too much by the end of it. It became too monotonous. So I need them to really shake it up. That teaser didn't tell me shit, so like that doesn't really go off.
I mean,
much.
yeah, it was a teaser, so there wasn't. There's no gameplay or anything.
So I just like they can hook me back, but they're gonna have to really mix up the formula. They cannot just give me another like Borderlands 3. Even Tiny Tina was standout to me, but like I still need more than that. I still need more of a mix up. So we'll see.
Alex knows exactly what it would take for me to play this game, and that's him inserting it into a Steam gift onto my life.
I was about to say a gift $0 price tag. Is that what it would take?
And that is
Maybe we'll
exactly what it would take.
We'll create a $50.
I was about to say Patreon's a GoFundMe for fucking
GoFundMe for Dustin.
GoFundMe just for Dustin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Maybe
not
by
buying that
then
game.
we'll have like a streaming setup and we can justify playing that co-op, because I think that would be a fun co-op. I mean, I'm for sure, sold on this. I'm a Borderlands junkie. I love that game, even with all its faults. The last one, Borderlands 3, was a little weak, but it's still a fun co-op game at its core. Like, if nothing else, right? It's like, hey, like you and a friend can go and just shoot a bunch of crap in a silly world. And
that's the thing. It's like, once again, this, to me, Borderlands is similar to Halo. So Halo comes out, right? Halo's like the GOAT, but now there's a million types of games like Halo. So Halo, they they were never able to, like, once again redefine. And that's what Borderlands needs to do. There's a million type of Borderlands games now. It needs to redefine the genre again. I'm not saying that's easy. That's fucking super hard. But it's the same thing. It's like, I don't just want to play another Halo game. Sorry. That's just my personal feeling.
Well, or at minimum, I think they need to pull the, like, Apple strategy and at least make it the best version of that type of game.
Right.
Right. So it's like you either got to do one of two things. It's either you got to innovate or it has to be the absolute best. And you can't, and if you fail at either one of those, then it's just going to fall to the wayside. So I'm really hoping that it does good. I think at minimum, it's going to be a fun play. But whether or not it has the longevity to, live up to the Borderlands name, we'll see.
One question I had for you guys about it was, I think last week or the week before, whenever we were talking about the Borderlands movie, we kind of talked about, like, are we going to see any new game news, things like that. And I think we were kind of like, oh, we're not sure, but kind of leaning towards no. And now that we have, and they were obviously trying to leverage the same thing as Fallout, right? Fallout TV show came out, fucking killed it, ton of interest in the game. I think they did announce, like, some new game content or some sort. I can't remember.
Fallout 76.
But it seems like they were trying to do the same formula here. Like, oh, Borderlands movie will come out. It's going to get all these people who never gave a shit about the game interested. Then we'll announce the next one and get people hype. In hindsight, do you think they should have announced the new game prior to the movie to try to drive more excitement for the movie instead of the other way around?
Well, that in hindsight, right, is the key there, because that's a tough one. Because if the movie was better, then the movie should have come first. But we had no idea that it was going to be good or bad, right? But because it was bad, the game should have come first. But that's one of those things that there's no way we could have known without somebody, without, like, having, like...
But they knew. They knew that. That's the thing. So, like, was that a bad decision by Gearbox, because they had to have seen the movie beforehand? I mean, and it sounds like Randy Pitchford, like, can't accept that the movie's not good because of the way he's or was acting online. I don't know if he still is. That he maybe in his mind actually thought this movie was, like, fucking fire, and everyone's gonna love it.
Like, Kate Blanchett's character is supposed to be like a teenager. She's like
also though
50s. Like, I don't. It's just weird. And then same with Jamie Lee Curtis. Her character's like, like a 20-year-old, and she's like in her 60s. Like, no offense, it's just weird.
Well, her character's like a doctor, right? So I don't think she's like 20, but.
Either way, she's still double the age.
With how
it just says strange.
With how toxic Randy Pitchford is, you have to wonder, like, if he watched that movie, like, let's say they got, like, an early screening, like, a month before.
Kevin Hart's old, compared to the character.
And he came out of that theater, like, or whatever, was like, this fucking rules. This is gonna be awesome. There's nobody in that company who has the fucking balls to go to this guy and be like, dude, actually, like, it's not good. Because look how he was. Look at his public backlash. What he said publicly. Can you imagine if you were, like, a VP who was in the room and went up to him and was like, we should maybe rethink our marketing strategy.
Dissenting opinions.
And like, creatives are notoriously difficult to kind of give that kind of, like, feedback to, especially when they have a position of power. So yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I got to admit, it's funny because there is a little bit of a balance when you're someone who's trying to creatively direct something. Sometimes you do need to just push through and be like, hey, I know you don't think this is the right direction. I do. And, like, and sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. And those are the biggest payoffs in creativity. Yeah. But, like, in that, you still have the risk of being incredibly wrong, right?
Especially
astronomically wrong.
I mean, it's like George Lucas with the prequels. Nobody wanted to tell him no, and there was some decisions that should have been told no to. Yeah,
well, even the Warcraft movie. Like, I still haven't watched the Warcraft movie, which is insane. But like,
what's wrong with you?
I know, and I know the Warcraft movie isn't like considered like awful, but it's considered like mid. Like not a lot of people like loved it. And so you almost have to wonder if it's the same thing there a little bit, because all the original like Blizzard OGs like were deeply involved in making that. Like, they talked about it at BlizzCon when I went, that they were like there every step of the way to make sure this was an authentic Warcraft experience that people were going to love. And like, maybe the Warcraft community likes it, but it definitely didn't have the mass appeal that they were hoping. For sure.
I mean, I feel like it was technical issues. It wasn't necessarily like lore related ones. Like visually, the humans did not fit in the screen frame. When the orcs were on the frame in Warcraft, it was a wonderful movie. There was huge story beats that didn't quite work out. There was some huge acting errors, and I do not say this often. I do not blame actors often, but like Medivh, the actor who played him, it was absolutely off base, completely off base. And then the guy who plays Khadgar, 100%. I don't know if it was the direction, what was told.
That's crazy, though.
The script. Both of those guys, I think, were completely off base. Completely.
Ben Foster is a really good actor, the guy who played Medivh. Like, he's in some stuff where he, like, crushes it. So that's what I was going to say, actually, before. So I haven't watched it, but there were some really strong castings in the movie with like Paula Patton and Ben Foster, who was Medivh. Yeah. Like, those guys, both of those actors have shown like they have very, very good acting chops. So maybe like it wasn't the right fit, but like Ben Foster's definitely can act.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, but I'm gonna go ahead and make an assumption on like it was probably just a big green room. They probably had very little practical effects. Like, they had very little to go off of. So like I'm not necessarily blaming them, but like that is where it was reflected, that it did not he was not Medivh to me. None of the human characters pulled it off. So yeah, anyway, moving on, since we're getting into our film chat, which is gonna quickly become our side podcast.
Okay, so let's pivot over to kind of our main topic, which is like the upcoming games, and whether or not this is gonna like make or break the year. So we have like a ton of stuff coming up. We had our Star Wars episode last time. Tyler still got to drop his lore video.
Gonna happen this weekend.
We have Space Marines coming in a week and a half.
Yeah, September 9th with some early access availability.
Yeah, fuck that game. Everyone knows you guys love Space Marines. We've talked about it like 12 times in a row.
Yeah, but this one looks good too. It's not just our addiction talking. Like, this game looks fun. It looks like they took Helldivers with Doom and just went like that. And that is even
if I never got into Warhammer, I would still be getting this game. I promise you. If I never heard of it, I still would.
And this is one of those ones that, like, if it's good, Dustin, we're going to pressure you very highly to get it to play with us.
3 players, Dustin.
I was talking to somebody who works at Saber, so I might have to, like, hit them up.
Get some codes, bro.
Get some codes. Tell them you have a podcast and that you want a code. And
we want to give you a good review for $200. Just kidding.
Good Lord.
Our credibility shattered instantaneously.
Right there.
No one's given us any money yet, and we already have negative credibility.
Yeah. But I think that would be a really fun co-op game to play. And that's something that we should stream once we get that like up and going. I'm still waiting for my computer. Did I tell you? So I got all the parts for my computer, and it turns out the motherboard had a bent pin. And so I have to RMA it, so I had to send it back. I popped the little plastic thing off, and one of the corner pins I see is just boop, and I'm like, shit. I even tried to put it together just to see if it would work. It didn't work.
Classic nightmare scenario.
I know.
Your background,
computer for
looks
Katie.
Like you have like an earthquake,
an earthquake
behind you. Like, don't you usually have stuff up on the walls?
Emily took it down. Yeah, she was gonna change it. Yeah, usually there was like our Funko Pops and stuff up there, but
you're the only person with like a
the setup.
Yeah, where it looks
backdrop.
pretty. So fix that, because I'm behind with a bathroom
You
fucking
fix it.
thing. So
Yeah,
mine looks
I don't know
terrible.
I don't know what she wants to put up there. Right now it's just empty. But all right. Yeah. Anyways, back to the topic. So we got Space Marines. Obviously, we talked about WoW already. What was the other shit? I totally
Assassin's
forgot.
Creed.
Assassin's Creed. I cannot wait for that. So it's gonna be what is it? Star Wars Outlaws comes out by the time this
Tuesday,
episode drops.
basically. Yeah.
Then it's gonna be Space Marines like a week after that. Then it's gonna be what? There's another one.
Black Ops.
Well, I guess Black Myth Wukong is also in there, but that already dropped.
Yeah, I've dropped
We got Harry Potter Quidditch champion in September.
Oh, who's excited for that? Who's excited for that?
This
Yeah,
guy?
are you gonna play Quidditch?
Yeah.
They should have included that.
Quidditch in real life. That sounds dope.
I actually
Do you
have a
wanna
friend who
play-
plays
Yeah, there's
like
a league.
semi-competitively.
If you're not flying, it's not real Quidditch. You can't just run around the brim like a jackass.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it does
I
look
hear
kind of
it's a lot
silly,
fun.
but okay.
There's
I
a
think we
Funko
actually
Pop
kind of
game coming
covered
out.
a lot of our main topic in our like recap. So, do you guys have anything else to talk about as far as like upcoming games that you're really excited for?
I mean, I'm really just
Shadows,
excited
man.
for. Really, Outlaws is my big one. I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
so excited for Star Wars open world. I feel like even if it's bad, I'm gonna have rose-colored glasses on. So hopefully it's not.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. As long as it's not atrocious, I'm gonna have a good time in it. And I don't think it is gonna be atrocious. So I'm really excited to see when that game drops.
I want to play
What?
it, but like I still have Cyberpunk and I still have Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh,
play.
Cyberpunk is so
And
And
good.
save your money for Space Marines, man, because
Yeah.
we're gonna need a third.
So yeah,
You
I'm just
know,
like, I don't know. Eventually,
I
we'll
also
get there.
see another game you guys are probably super excited for. Farming Simulator 25 is coming out in November.
Wow.
Those games. I think those
Yeah.
games actually do really well, though. Shockingly, I think those like simulator games.
I wasn't being sarcastic. I played those games.
Okay,
Oh
there
my
you go.
I played it
There
with
you
my
go.
buddies too. I played
that-
it. We've had.
Is that a Game Pass game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's a really interesting game, the farm simulators, and really detailed in some ways. And then in other ways, they're like really not detailed, and you're like, I have to hitch this trailer precisely, but like I can't open a door into a home. Like it's just really funny. Like but they're fun. Also,
Ralph.
Indiana Jones. I want to call that one out. It's on
Oh,
Game
that's a
Pass.
good one.
That's December 9th. Indiana Jones game. It's not like it's gonna be like a Uncharted-esque kind of thing. So I'm really excited for that. I love Indiana Jones. Of course, I love John Williams. So the music will be of paramount importance to me.
Yeah, I forgot. I keep forgetting about that one, even though it's going to be a big title. I mean, I'm going to play it especially because it's on Game Pass. Like, there's no reason not to play it. And it's by the guys who did the Wolfenstein remakes, and like those games are really good. So,
You know what?
I don't see why it wouldn't be good.
That reminded me of one last thing, and maybe this can be the last closing thing. So we had a comment the other day about promoting like subscription-based models, and I was thinking about that. I was thinking about your comment. I thought it was thought-provoking.
I responded to him.
Okay. And I was really thinking about it, and honestly, I've concluded that I don't think they're inherently a bad thing, and I understand the trepidation because there's a lot of like kind of crappy monetary tactics happening nowadays, but like, you know, I say to that user like do you remember ever like renting a video game like on a weekend? Like that was a really fun feeling, and I do miss that. And I think Game Passes asking for $15 a month so that you can have the opportunity to play and try a large variety of games is not a bad thing inherently. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. You know, maybe it'll change, you know, but I think if I can pay $15 a month and enjoy Xbox Pass and then buy the games that I really enjoy, I think there's something to that.
So this is what I told this guy, Ondriskarinsky 2304. I said, there are pros and cons. There are pros and cons to both. I couldn't care less about not owning my games. I loved Nier, but I haven't played it since I finished it. I likely won't touch Elden Ring again after it's complete. So if I could have access to them for a fraction of the MSRP, why wouldn't I have done that? The only games I strongly advocate anyone to own that are also available via subscription are games where they're buying cosmetics. That's something you want permanently.
Sure.
But I said different strokes for different folks. If you replay a lot of games, maybe it's worth buying. Or if you only play a few new games a year because you stick to your classics. But for someone like Alex, who is constantly playing new games, something like Xbox Game Pass is also a huge money saver.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
I'm the kind of gamer who plays a lot of games. I have a short attention span, so like for me, it works out. If you just play one game, then yeah, sure, that doesn't make sense.
I'm still waiting for the Steam Game Pass. That would be the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
We enjoy talking about these things, guys. Don't feel like we're hostile towards your input. I like to think about it and talk about it.
Dustin's hostile, but the two of us aren't.
Hey, I'm hostile here. But
No.
That was a very thoughtful response.
It was a very good response.
But still, fuck that guy.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, thank you all for listening. Oh wait, actually, I want to show off my shirt real quick. It's Emily. She made me the shirt. I thought it was hilarious.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, she made it. Anyways, thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to be notified.
His actual waifu shirt on.
Yeah,
Literally.
my wife. It's my
Actual
wife.
waifu.
My waifu. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to be notified when we post new episodes. We post new episodes every Tuesday on podcast services and YouTube. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and Patreon at Pixelated Realms and Pixelated Realms Podcast. Thank you all very much.